Hi guys, how you going? It's Cambell here. Hope you're having an amazing day. And today I wanted to talk about what is autodidactic. Okay, so let's get into this. We find ourselves in a strange position of time. Basically, everything we're given is misinformation. From the time that we, come into the world, into this society, when we're born, we basically have a clean slate as far as what this world is, and so we rely on the people around us to give us that information. And of course, most humans, 99.9%, are good, loving people, at their core. We all get frustrated, but most people are good people, especially when it comes to children and raising them. And this is a thing we know with children, that the way to act towards other humans, if that human is a baby or a small child, it's always just with love, isn't it? If we see people that are being, yelling at little kids or babies or hitting them, that is just so far outside of our, morals, our moral code, that it's just not done. So that's one thing to think about. We know, if you want to know what a real human is, an unprogrammed human, have a look at babies, little kids, sort of under 2 years old. And, they've got no malice, they've got no anything. They've just got inquisitiveness and fun and joy and love. And that's what we all are. That's what we all start as. And then we hit society and we hit school. And as soon as we hit school, we are, the first thing they teach us, obviously, is to spell. Okay, so that obviously it's an interesting thing to say, but in the bigger picture, what that does is that takes us from our right creative side of our brain to the left side of our brain, which is mathematical, logical, likes to put things in boxes. So they slowly and not so slowly change us from living in our imaginations, because we know all kids live in their imaginations. So they change us from the right side of our brain to going to the left side of our brain. And then they go on to tell us things like, don't daydream, focus, stop being away with the fairies. It's taught as a bad thing to use your imagination. And we can see around in the education system today, the arts are being taken out of school. Most schools don't even have art programs or music programs anymore. It's just all left brain mathematic crap. Really, at this point in time, that information is not going to help you in the future. That'll all be computer accountants will be computer programs in the next 5 years. They won't be people. So we are trained, we're taught all these things. So like I said, we're reliant on the information we're given. So we're fed all this stuff about history, and so that's all that we know. And until we start questioning that history, that is the truth. That history is the truth, that historical paradigm. So what we need to do to move forward is to think for ourselves, guys, to be autodidactic, to be self-educated. Because what's happened, and I've had an instance of this in the recent past, is all these so-called academics, these people with letters after their names who have spent years in universities listening to lecturers tell them what to think, and if they think differently, they fail the course. Okay, this is what goes on, guys, and we all know it when you think about it. If you go to university and you challenge what they're teaching you, you fail. So how then can information move forward? How can our knowledge move forward? See, we're stuck. Because of the way that academia is, it can't move forward. So you've got to forget about academia. There's no answers there. It's now up to the people that can think for themselves. Because all that academia does now is it just stands there to prove that itself is correct. So if there's new information given and brought up, factual evidence, and given to academia, if it doesn't fit into their preconceived timeline, their narrative of what's happened and what is true, then it gets discarded and we never hear about it, guys. This is why new discoveries never happen. I mean, just think about Graham Hancock, what was going on, 20 years ago. He put out a book, Fingerprints of the Gods, and he just got hammered by all the archaeological societies. No one wanted to speak to him, ask him questions about his research, look into what he'd been, what he'd found, see where it went. No one wanted to research, have a look at what he'd found and then do more searching and see if it's true. And all these academics weren't interested. They just wanted to tell him he was wrong, he was stupid, and that his information, would not be accepted into their archaeological societies. And of course, Graham, being the great man that he is, stuck to his guns, kept going, and now 20 years later, most people know that there's all these structures all over the world that are unexplained, the dates that they were built are actually much older than we're given. So this is the thing about thinking for yourself. This is where we discover things, and the paradigm that we've been brought up in teaches people not to think, and this is the main problem. So when you go to school, you're taught to rely on a teacher to give you an answer, and when you want knowledge, you're taught to ask a person in authority to give you that answer. And so when you become an adult, what do? You use the same behaviour. You just keep going on. And so instead of looking for information on your own and researching, most people just go, to an authoritative person. And today, that's Google. So I had a discussion with someone who was an apparent academic, a science guy. You may know who I'm talking about. And this is exactly what happened. I asked him to give me facts. I said, I was polite. I just said, sure, just give me facts of your side of the argument. Show me facts of what you're saying. And he said he would. All he ended up sending me was 2 pages from Wikipedia and another page which was literally the first top search item when you put Starford into Google. No research, he just searched. So this is the difference between searching and researching. He just searched, found the top thing, and because it was a web page on Google, apparently he took that as being the truth, gave it to me. I said, there's no information in here, there's nothing. There was a few little bits and pieces, but there was no facts, it was all baseless. When I told him that, he basically said, well, I've given you the facts. If you don't like them, well, goodbye. So this is the thing, science don't want a question, they don't like questions, they don't want people to ask them because they're too invested in their belief system. Because some of these guys spend 20, 30, 40 years and more on their theories and building up their credentials and being a big academic person, and then if they're wrong, even if they're questioned, their ego kicks in and they don't like it at all. So this is the thing, guys, about autodidactic. We need to start to think, we need to start to share information as well, and thank you for everyone who has been sharing information with me, because this is a group effort, to unveil our history, because we're up against these academics. The thing we have on our side is that thinking is changing pretty quickly, and the old structures are falling away pretty quickly. So I see this as an adventure. It's not a bad thing. I mean, it's an adventure. We can go and find the answers. We can rewrite history. We can write it back to we can write history, because at the moment it's wrong. All right. So just wanted to make a quick video. I hope I haven't rambled too much. I hope I've made some sense for you. But this is the thing. As humans in our society, we are taught not to think. We're taught to obey authority, obey rules, to look for authority when we want answers, and then to believe exactly what we're given. So this is where most people are. So you've got to understand that as well. If we go out and start fighting with people and telling them they're stupid and that's not going to help. That just gives them more ammo to think that we're just crazies or whatever, which is how they label us. If we think outside the box and we ask questions, instead of answering questions, instead of giving us factual evidence and proper answers, so talking to us on a human to human level, we don't get that. We just get put downs, under the breath kind of put downs, all these condescending remarks. We get grouped together as a group that all believe this weird thing, when obviously everyone's got their own different opinions on all this research. But people can't see this. It's the old group the weirdos together and ostracize them, get rid of them because they're a threat to the way that I think, you know, because my belief system is right, and if someone challenges that, that may mean that I'm wrong. Now, come on, guys, being wrong is awesome, because when you're wrong, it means you learn something. It's like mistakes. Everyone, and this is part of wordplay too, they love to join words together and change the meanings. So a mistake, we're taught, is a bad thing. A mistake is just a mistake. That's it, a mistake. Just like in the movies with the old shutter boards, you know, the click, click, take one, take two. Take one, oh, it was a mistake. What do? You do it again. What happens if it takes 90 takes? You do 90 takes until you get it correct. They're just mistakes. It's nothing bad. That's how you learn and get better. And so this is all this thing about how we learn and how we should be learning and we should be inquisitive. It's being shut down, you know, it's just shut down from the time we hit school, and it continues through. Because everyone comes up through that schooling system, they then act as the big brother, you know, trying to keep us in place so that we don't question things. So this is what we're up against, guys, but this is why it's fun. You just got to keep going, keep being awesome, keep doing research, keep letting people know what you found, and together we'll get to the bottom of this, because, you know, seriously, they can't deny this stuff anymore. There's so much evidence. So hope you enjoyed that. Just a bit of me ranting, and yeah. So basically, guys, just keep your minds open. Be nice. Understand that not everyone's at your level. Not everyone, you know, has seen the information that you've seen, and not everyone's had your experience in life, so they're not necessarily as open-minded. Okay, and yeah, just have an amazing day. Thanks for your time, and I'll catch you on the next upload, guys. Bye for now.